If you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP, consider that CPAPs were invented in 1980. Do you even remember 1980? Everyone's house had one telephone. There were like 4 TV channels.
Come on.
You played video games in arcades and watched movies in theaters. GPS was a folded map and a helpful gas station attendant. And social media was inviting the neighbors to come look at your vacation pictures. A lot has changed since 1980. Now, for people who struggle with CPAP, there's Inspire. Inspire is an implanted device that treats sleep apnea inside your body at the click of a remote. It's the only FDA-approved sleep apnea treatment of its kind. While you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and resting comfortably. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
It's showtime, baby. You'll go wacko, bananas, nuts, crazy, unbelievable.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
You don't have any idea what my life was like before you came along. You know, most people want to have kids and they settle in, and that's all good.
I hear ya.
Jeff Lutz.
I know that, dude.
It's hard for me to believe that you folks don't understand the way of the world.
No duh, right?
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
And it's going to be legendary.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday edition, the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz co-hosting, Max Power producing and engineering. 869-1240 is the IHOP hotline. Welcome in. We will be gone again tomorrow. We're almost at the end of this Royals season, but they can't help but interrupt our show from time to time and interrupt your good time to Kansas City yesterday.
Yeah, that was
with 9,000 other people watching
ridiculous.
The Royals rally to beat your Cleveland Guardians.
Well, I mean, could it have been any more obvious that that was going to happen? We're just out there waving the white flag. Royals are still trying at 138 losses or whatever they have, and our managers is kind of over there. We'll bat Cole Calhoun clean up. We'll play Miles Straw. We'll use our best reliever for 3 pitches. It's just stupid. It's just all stupid. And he's going to retire, and I hate that because now I have these bad feelings about the greatest manager in our franchise's history, and
don't have bad.
And then a guy that I love.
Guy. You got bad feelings about the Guardians, bad feelings about the Eagles. Where are you without them? I mean, why have all these bad feelings?
Oh, then
makes no sense.
Do something to give me good feelings.
The season's over.
Do something to give me good feelings. Stop choking. Trevor Stephan has 8 blown saves. Emmanuel Clase has 11.
Well, who do you want out there?
Reynaldo Lopez. Did you see him just blow away the young catcher for Kansas City?
Yeah, I could have blown away the young catcher for Kansas City. The young catcher for Kansas City has no business being in the big league.
He came in with something. He had a homer the other night. He was 4 for 10 early.
I mean, come on. Get over it.
Just don't like it. Let's play to win, even if it's September and we're playing out the string.
That team's got to figure things out. I had a highlight moment in my team's season, of which there have been few, but watching Adam Wainwright pitch, win number 200 in his career, beat the Brewers, pitch well, and then the post game and everything that happened with his son. And did you see the photo?
I saw the picture.
You don't care about that.
Well, I wasn't there to experience it. His son was peeking out through the little cloth curtain type thingy on the table.
You don't think that was just adorable?
Well, it was cute.
Why can't you be a human being?
I am a human being, but I don't know I don't know his son. I mean, I don't know what the.
So you don't know his son, so it detracts from the adorable nature of that photo.
I mean, it's a cute photo.
I mean, it's one of the great, and it was just snapped by Derek Gould, who sees an obvious photo and just takes a picture. That will be a photo that they cherish for the rest of their lives.
Most likely, yes.
So I get a kick out of things like that.
I'm not stopping you.
And rather than be effusive, you gotta put Put your own little. You got to raise your little umbrella because it starts to rain.
I'm not an effusive guy. I don't know why this is suddenly news.
But I bet you can be effusive. I'll bet everybody. You're robbing yourself of one of the great human emotions.
I don't see it really like that.
Really?
Not really.
How do you see it?
I have plenty of emotions. I experience emotions all the time.
What about being effusive? What about having joy?
What about what about just like trying not to get too high because then the low is just a crash. And you know,
high on a photograph? What low am I going to get?
I'm not. Why do we always have these conversations about pictures? You can enjoy whatever you want.
What low am I going to get from that?
You can enjoy whatever you want.
What are you even talking about?
You just talked about effusive. We weren't even talking about the picture. You can enjoy whatever picture you want.
But when you say I get effusive about a picture,
you said that.
How am I? What low is going to negate that?
We weren't talking about the picture then.
Well, we're talking about it now. So if you get highs and lows, and you try to keep it all on a even keel, please give me a break on that.
I mean, I try.
You do?
Yeah, you're driving me insane right now. But
I don't understand what's wrong with having an occasional high.
I didn't say anything was wrong with it.
You said, well, ultimately, if you have a high, you come crashing down. And no, you don't have to come crashing down.
Well, I didn't say you do. I said sometimes that's how it works out for me.
How am I going to have a crash down?
We weren't
Adam
talking
Wainwright
about the
winning
picture.
his 200th game.
We weren't talking about the picture.
Okay, let's talk about the performance.
You were speaking in generalities.
Let's talk about the glee.
You're not good at arguing. Did you know that?
Let's talk about the glee that I took from the Cardinals winning last night. What possible thing could detract from that?
You are terrible at arguing.
No,
let's move the goalposts. Let's change the subject.
Okay,
let's speak in generalities.
Say it again what you just said, so I can.
You were talking about how I'm not effusive, and I said I'm not effusive because I tend not to try to get too high or too low. That was the only thing that I said. And then you came back to, well, this picture and then this performance.
No, you actually said that's not the only thing you said. If I get too high, then you come crashing down, and then
right. We were speaking in generalities then. Now, when you want to talk about specifics, sure, feel great about your picture and your performance, and that probably will not cause later a drop off in emotions. But when we're talking about generalities, I'm going to speak generally. If you want to talk about specifics,
for the guy who doesn't get too low, has said on this show in the past week,
I try not to.
That you're done with the Eagles and you're done with the Guardians.
I'm done with the Eagles, and I'm obviously not done with the Guardians if I'm placing an emotional investment in a game in Kansas City on September 18th.
Well, don't get too high or low. Why are you getting so low?
I'm not low.
You just said you placed an emotional.
It was irritating, but did I sit there and cry? Did I stew?
Well, I don't know. Did you?
No, I didn't. But
let's get to Tim on the hotline. Hey, Tim.
Hey, guys. I'm just glad that Adam Wainwright's picture can turn Bob, a normally cold, steely soul, into Jimmy Stewart at the end of It's a Wonderful Life. It just renews my hope in humanity. But at the same time, Jeff, I'd say don't be afraid of the highs because they make life worth living too. So don't be afraid of the crash. That's all I got.
I think
basically
you offended
took
both
it
of
to
them.
you right there.
Yeah, what's that all about? Am I a cold, steely soul?
I mean, yeah.
Really? I am?
See how easy it is?
No. Answer the question honestly.
I don't know.
Am I a cold, steely soul?
I don't know. Are you? Only you can
answer
that question.
You're my son.
You're the person that's
What's
inside
your perception?
Not usually.
Well, then why did Tim say that?
Because you're an outwardly outwardly, this is what you are, right? You're going to attack people for not liking a photo. You're going to argue poorly.
Do you not like the photo?
It's fine.
I will attack you if you don't like the photo.
I love it. It's beautiful.
If you want to see the photo, it's on my Facebook page, and it's got Adam Wainwright happily looking to a questioner in the post-game news conference, and his young son Caleb down beneath the table, peeking out from the drape
Skirt, I think is what those are called.
Of the table, with his hand in his head, or his head in his hands. And it's cute as hell.
No question.
And the minute I saw it, you should have seen when Derek Gould posted that on Twitter, 2 minutes later, there were over 1,000 likes.
It's a wonderful photo.
Thank you. That's all I'm looking for.
If you were in tears over it or anything like that.
No, I was in tears over the whole experience of Adam Wainwright.
Okay.
Last night. So was Wilson Contreras. It was an emotional moment. I'm a Cardinals fan. If you can't get emotional about these kinds of things, then you are a steely, cold soul. And you might qualify more so than I as being steely and cold.
I don't think I'm either.
And some would question, is there a soul?
Oh, would they?
Maybe.
As always, a wonderful thing to say to your only begotten offspring.
Well, I listen, I don't pull punches. Maybe that makes, I don't know that makes me steely or cold. It makes me...
I feel like I have to have, if that was Jose Ramirez and his son, maybe I'd feel different. Not that I don't love and respect Adam Wainwright. He's one of the most well-liked...
It has nothing really to do with Adam Wainwright.
Okay, well, other people's kids aren't always like, I'm not going to fall on the floor over them.
Really?
No, of course.
You don't care about other people's kids?
Does anyone?
Of course.
Not really. I mean, generally, again, kids, wonderful. But a kid? Okay.
Well, you have a daughter, but you don't have a biological. If you had that, if you'd done a picture like this when you were 2 years old or however old Caleb Wainwright is, I'd be everybody. I mean,
Right, you would, but the guy down the street wouldn't care.
I
and
got
I wouldn't
98 likes on that photo.
Good.
There's nobody outside of a cold steel.
No, I'm right about this.
Soul. No. You don't have to pull out your 300 baby pictures and show them to me. I'm not that interested in that. But on this particular photo of something you don't see every day.
See, now we're doing it again. We were talking in generalities, and now we're back to specifics.
But we're not pulling out.
You got to pick one, man.
Why do people keep photo albums?
For themselves.
For themselves?
Of course.
You never pull them out to show your in-laws or your friends?
No, I never would even think to pull out a photo album to show my friends. Never would think of it. And I've never seen one of my friends.
If you had a newborn and you're going out to KWCH, where you work, and people out there go, Jeff, do you have any?
I might show a picture, but again,
do you have any photos
generalities
of your kids?
and specifics? You gotta
say,
live.
No, we don't show photos of our kids.
You got to live in one of those, right?
If you want to see my kid, you'll have to come to the house.
You got to live in specifics or generality. Are we talking about one photo, or are we talking about an album? Sure, I'd show a photo, but I wouldn't show an album.
You wouldn't?
No.
I showed the album. I've got them right here.
No, my mom had all my baby stuff. And now I have it.
Well, you don't show people.
No.
Why don't you bring it over here? I'll show people.
I showed the one where it said PBASTS, please, that was an abbreviation, and it was please bring a salad to share, as if anyone knew what PBASTS meant.
I put photos up on Facebook all the time.
Right, I don't.
It's showing people.
Well, that's you. I'm never gonna
I think
you're an idiot for doing that.
I think
right?
most people like to show their family photos.
Okay, and that's great. I think people should
It makes them feel good.
I think people should do whatever makes them happy.
Well, I know it won't make me happy to go to your house and look at your family photos.
Why not?
Because you won't show them.
My wife keeps wanting to take family photos again. Why?
What? Because this is it.
I know what you all look like. I'm going to see. I'm going to hang out with you.
Because these stand the test of time. Everybody has family photos. Everybody.
We never did.
And again, to borrow a term from...
Do you think we ever stood in front of a camera at
we
Sears?
took all kinds of photos.
No, we didn't.
And then to borrow...
You have one up there. That's it.
And to borrow
from 30
a phrase,
years ago.
And to borrow a phrase from Tim, you sound cold, steely, and soulless.
No, I don't.
You do. This is shocking to me.
Okay, be
That
shocked.
you don't care about family or photos or...
I don't care about family now. Good Lord.
I don't understand it. We
You
took
are going
all
into
kinds of photos when you were a kid.
You were going into some insane places.
Look over there.
Right, those were all pictures taken by others.
Yeah.
Basketball and baseball pictures.
I took a ton of pictures.
And you stopped when I was about 5.
No, I kept going.
No, I have the album.
Well, you got less cute.
As children do.
Well, I mean, you were still, whatever. It was 8-year-old Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no cute 8-year-olds out there.
Well, there's a cute 2-year-old in the Adam Wainwright.
And I love him. Caleb is his name?
Caleb.
Well, I hope
And
he
he's
grows
adorable.
up to be.
And I enjoyed last night immensely. We enjoyed watching that game. One of the few Cardinals games that we've enjoyed. And I'm going to tell you right now, Adam Wainwright is in my top 5 all-time Cardinals. And moving up quickly, even though he's only been there a short amount of time, is one Wilson Contreras.
Really?
Love him.
Much maligned. Wilson.
Love him. Everything about him I love.
What do you love about him?
He's fiery. He's great. He's had a great second half of the year. He's got a really big heart, cares. He was bawling his eyes out last night. He's just a good guy, and I like him.
Good.
And I hope they build a good team around him and a few others next year. They have to. We can't go through another year like this.
Did you read the story about Jose Ramirez on MLB.com?
No, I did not.
Yeah, because you don't care, right?
Nah, I couldn't care less.
But it would tug at your heartstrings if you cared about Jose Ramirez or the Guardians.
He doesn't play for us.
Exactly.
No cute kids in that story.
Of course there are.
No, they're not. Are there photos of his kids?
I don't think there are photos of his kids, but there are photos of kids that he helps out in Cleveland and in the Dominican Republic.
Well, take a look at it. But listen, unless he has a cute kid,
Yeah, of course.
All right, here's what's on tap. Kind of a different show today. Tad Boyle, the head men's basketball coach at Colorado, formerly at Wichita State with Mark Turgeon way back, will join us. And we'll catch up with Tad on a lot of different things, not the least of which is now in the same athletic department as Deion Sanders.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And everything that's going on at Colorado. We'll get a first-hand look at that with Tad Boyle. That's coming up in about 8 minutes or so. At 2:45, Wichita's newest MMA sensation, Steven Nguyen, will join the show. He was recently featured in the Wichita Eagle, a story written by Taylor Eldridge. And Steven is shooting up the charts in MMA with Dana White. It's interesting. Good to watch. And in hour number 2, a game from the soulless one.
Yeah. That's me.
Jeff Lutz.
I have a good game today.
Do you have a good game?
Oh, yeah, you're going to love it.
Well, I can't wait for it. A couple NFL games last night, from what I understand, both forgettable, other than the terrible injury to Nick Chubb of the Browns. And as someone said on Twitter yesterday, and I don't know that I dispute this, looks like the NFL is pretty bad.
Haven't we kind of been
Who are
saying
the good
that?
teams?
Oh, the good teams are all in the NFC.
Who are they?
There's 7 teams that are 2-0. Dallas
is a good team. Who else?
49ers and Philadelphia. Kansas City we still think is good, obviously. That might be it. Buffalo, I don't know.
Well, it's not Miami.
Miami's good.
But there are not many of them. And we'll give you how the picks went. I'm disputing Max's tabulation. I think I got all 4 NFL games
Well,
right
you didn't.
after missing all 4 college games.
Well, that's just
Which one didn't I get right?
Green Bay. I told you
No,
that.
Green Bay was +3.
No, you told us the other day that Green Bay was a 1.5-point favorite. That was what you had in picks.
That's not what my app says.
Well, the thing that you sent us said Green Bay
Packers
minus.
covered +3.
What you sent us on Thursday, or actually you sent it Wednesday for some reason, Green Bay minus 1.5.
So none of us got the Green Bay game right.
That's correct.
So I was 3-5 for 12 points. You were 4-4 for 20. Max 3-5 for 17, and Duda 4-4 for 10.
Looks like I won.
You did win. So there you go.
I did well in the NFL, and I did get one college game right.
I completely dropped it in college. Well, you got Penn State right, which that was a terrible pick by me. But you live and learn. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it isn't. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll catch up with Tad Boyle, the head men's basketball coach at Colorado, former KU player, coached here at Wichita State with Mark Turgeon. Tad Boyle is our guest next.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
All right, as we attempt to run down Tad Boyle, we are playing some music with the word "some" in the title. That's a Robert
S-O-M-E?
Palmer Power Station. Some like it hot. Back from my day of music, you don't remember that song, do you?
I didn't hear it. I don't think I did. Maybe though.
Well,
I know some Robert.
It was
Palmer.
a big hit.
Late great Robert Palmer out of England, Britain.
Simply Irresistible. His theme. I think that's his song. Let's get, what is it?
Addicted to Love.
Nah, I like Simply Irresistible. Here's Tad Boyle joining us on the hotline. Coach Boyle, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Bob?
Well, it's been a while. I'm
been
looking forward to catching up with you. Yeah, we were looking.
Absolutely.
I was looking you up. 12 years now at Colorado. That's hard to fathom.
Well, it's 12 in the Pac-12 and 13, or it's actually 13 overall because I spent 1 year in the Big 12 when I first got here, and now we're going back to the Big 12 next year. So yeah.
So
time flies.
Let's start with that, Tad. How do you feel about Colorado now heading back to the Big 12, your old stomping grounds? Certainly where you played at Kansas when it was in the Big 8. How do you feel about all that?
Well, number one, I don't like it when you date me like that, Bob, and tell people how old I am because I did start in the Big 8, but and the Big 12 that we left 13 years ago is not, it's not the same Big 12. Obviously, it's changed a little bit, but holy cow, when I look at the team from top to bottom, and I look at that conference has done in basketball over the last 10 years. It's been basically ranked the number one league in the country 9 out of the last 10 years. So it's a heck of a basketball league, and we better sharpen our game, so to speak, if we want to compete there, because it's there's not an easy game of the schedule as I see it.
So, yeah, tell us a little bit about your team going into this season. Looks like a fairly young team. You haven't dipped too much into the transfer portal, but obviously going to be really talented. The one guy you did get from the transfer portal is Eddie Lampkin from TCU. That's a really good addition.
Yeah, we've got a really interesting team this year. Very talented, great combination of experience and youth. And the youth we have is very talented. We've got our first, 5-star player we've ever gotten here, and Cody Williams from Arizona, whose older brother Jalen is with Oklahoma City. A lot of people probably back there remember what kind of rookie year he had last year for the Thunder. So Cody's a terrific player. Tristan Da Silva is probably our most experienced player coming back as a senior. To me, a preseason All-American candidate. KJ Simpson, a dynamic guard in the backcourt, is going to be a junior. So Eddie, coming from TCU, we're a program, guys, that, quite frankly, in today's age, we really are doing everything we can to stay out of the transfer portal. Many of my contemporaries are waiting. They're not recruiting as many high school kids, and they're waiting to see who's available in the spring in the transfer portal. But we like to evaluate players, much like we did at Wichita when I was there with Coach Turgeon, but evaluate good high school kids and recruit them, develop them, and hopefully by the time, it's all said and done, they've had great careers and our fans have gotten to know them. But I don't want 1 or 2 years.
We're talking with Tad Boyle, former Shocker assistant, as he said, now the head men's basketball coach at Colorado. And Colorado is, I think you may have noticed, kind of on the radar right now. College game day was there Saturday. Deion Sanders is everywhere. Boulder is lit up. They have a huge game coming up this weekend against Oregon. What's that been like, Tad? You've been right in the midst of it.
It's been awesome. I can't tell you the excitement that Deion has brought to our university, to our community. Obviously, putting our football program on the national stage in year one is unprecedented. So we're riding that wave. Colorado's kind of a cool school right now nationally. We've always been recruiting, during football season. We've always been bringing kids to campus for football games. And now when we do it, the place is going crazy. And game day last week was awesome. They used our practice gym as a kind of their headquarters, so we got a chance to connect with a lot of the ESPN football people that talk about our basketball team upcoming. So it's been a lot of fun, especially because the years we've been here, our football team, it's been slim pickings. So I love seeing them be successful, and Deion's a terrific guy, terrific coach, and obviously doing a terrific job.
Did you meet The Rock? I got to ask that.
I had a passing with The Rock. I didn't get a picture or anything, but yeah, I saw him, and he was he doesn't have to put a lot of makeup on. He's a pretty good looking guy without that. But he was in the facility, and he had our campus buzzing, that's for sure.
So what have your interactions with Coach Prime, as he's called, Deion Sanders, so far? What's he like in person?
He's fantastic. He's a very, believe it or not, when you meet him, he's very soft-spoken, nice guy, always asks about recruiting. He's been very open with his staff. We've connected with some members of his staff and tried to collaborate a little bit in terms of where they're recruiting, where we're recruiting. I saw him at breakfast the other day with one of our recruits' families. They got a chance to meet him. So, yeah, he's been very gracious. We don't interact a lot because our office is in the basketball arena. Theirs is in the football stadium. So we don't cross paths a lot. But when we do, he's been very gracious and very enjoyable to be around.
Colorado head men's basketball coach Tad Boyle, our guest. So you've been coaching a long time. What do you think it is about Deion Sanders, besides name recognition, that has allowed him to have this kind of immediate success? Obviously, he's been able to bring some very good players into that program. But just as a pure coach, Tad, what are some of the things you look at Deion Sanders and that you admire?
Well, I think it's his ability to connect with young people. Obviously, he doesn't have the natural pedigree of a Division I, Power 5 football coach, right? I mean, 5 years ago he was coaching high school football in Texas, and before that he was coaching youth football in Dallas, and obviously he coached his sons growing up. So I think, when I think of Dion and what he's brought to the table, obviously it's his star power, which is unquestionable, and the kind of people that are coming to Boulder to support his team are just, again, it's never been done before. The list of celebrities coming in for the USC game the week after the Oregon game this week is it's an A-list. Let's put it that way. So that goes without saying. That's part of who he is. But I think what makes him really special, in my mind, from just, again, I'm not a football coach, I'm a basketball coach, but just his ability to connect with young people and to make them believe how he believes. And obviously he's a very confident guy. He believes in himself and what he's done, but his ability to instill that belief in his players and his ability to attract terrific. Obviously his son Shador is a heck of a player. Shiloh was defensive player of the week in the Pac-12 this year. Obviously Travis Henry he's a special player. I'm so disappointed he's hurt and out on the sidelines for a couple of weeks, but he connects with young people, Bob. I think that's the easiest way to say it.
So, you talked about it a little bit, you bringing kids in as recruits going to watch football games. What are some of the other ways that having that attention can just lift up the entire athletic program? And as far as basketball goes, how do you kind of strike while that iron is hot while you're getting that level of attention to the university?
Yeah, look, College Game Day is a great example. Fox Sports has had their kickoff show in Boulder the last 2 weekends. They shared it with Game Day last weekend. I think they're coming back for USC, if I'm not mistaken. I know the game's on Fox, but I think those are like 3-hour infomercials on the University of Colorado in Boulder, and so all the video that's put out and all the sound bites that are put out. Those are things we can share with recruits and their families, and like you said, strike while the iron's hot, and let people know how great I've known, since I've gotten here, how great Colorado is, and what a great place Boulder is to go to school and to play college football or college basketball or whatever sport you play. But now the country's getting to see it, and so you can't put a price on that exposure.
Final moments here with Tad Boyle, who's been at Colorado now. This is coming up your 14th season. You've had 9 20-win seasons. Do you feel like what more room is there to grow with your basketball program? What do you think can be accomplished that hasn't been accomplished yet?
Bob, that's pretty. It's a good question, but it's a pretty easy one to answer for me. It's advancing in the NCAA tournament. We've gotten a couple wins. We've not been to a Sweet 16 yet. We've not been to an Elite 8. Final Four, I think, has been proven over the last dozen years. Anybody can get there. And again, I was at Wichita. I know what a special place Wichita is as a basketball community, but when I think about them getting to a Final Four with Fred VanVleet and Ron Baker and that crew, I think we can do that here. And now the stars have to align. You got to get lucky. You got to get, things have to fall into place. But to me, it's advancing in the NCAA tournament and making a run to that second or third weekend of March and catching lightning in a bottle, so to speak, which is what you have to do to get to a Final Four. But I'd like to get that accomplished before it's all said and done and under my watch. We'll see if we can do that or not.
Well, you're a Colorado native. You're at your dream job. I tried to tell my son a couple weeks ago how big of a job Colorado football was, and how I thought that if they could get back to kind of their glory days. I don't know that I expected it to be happening this quickly. But the notoriety and the spotlight that football program has brought to your campus, as you mentioned, I'm sure you're jumping all over that, aren't you?
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? It's only been done in 3 games. You're talking about really
it's
2
nuts.
weeks. You know, yeah, because everybody was doubting us when we went to play TCU and we beat them, and then all of a sudden we beat Nebraska. Now, you know, so 2 weeks later, it's just we're the talk of the country. So, and you know as well as I, March for basketball is like, you know, September and October for football, and we can. I'd like to think we can do that as well when the time is right. We gotta play good basketball. We gotta put ourselves in that position to get a good seed in the tournament, and I'd love to have a time where both Colorado football can go to a major bowl game, maybe the CFP, and Colorado basketball can get to a deep in the tournament. That would be awesome.
And I got to ask you before we let you go, Tad, how's Mark Turgeon doing? I know you guys have been the best of buds for a long, long time.
Yep. Mark is doing great. I've never heard him happier. He's really enjoying life. I'm glad because he's, you know, Mark is a grinder. He's a guy that, as you know, wears his emotions on his sleeve and puts everything he's got in his being into his job. And so to have him have a chance to relax a little bit and spend time with his family, it's amazing. We have his son, Will, his oldest son, Will, who was born in Wichita, is a graduate manager for us, graduate assistant. And his daughter, Ella, is in her sophomore year at Colorado. So he's got 2 of his kids in Boulder. Well, one of them I get to be around every day, and they come out to see their daughter some. So I see he and his wife, Ann, Leo, their youngest, is a senior in high school. So I talk to Turge still weekly, and still one of my great friends. And love to see him back in coaching personally, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see, Bob.
Yeah, every photo Ann puts on Facebook, Mark's smiling. So it's like, what the heck's going on here?
What is going on? You know him better than I do in terms of that. So it's nice to see him happy and enjoying life.
Dad, it's really good to catch up with you. Best of luck, and we envy you being out in Boulder right now. Thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely. Wichita still means a great deal to me and my family. 2 of our kids were born there, so hello to everybody in Wichita.
Take care, Tad.
Okay, see you guys.
Steven Nguyen joins us. He is one of the newest members of UFC. He qualified recently with a fight on his 3rd attempt. Am I right about that, Steven? Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. 3rd time's the charm.
Yeah, really. So it's amazing that you kept after it. You impressed Dana White enough to where he has now offered you a contract. Take us through all of this that made you continue to chase this dream of yours.
Yeah, so the first time I fought on the Contender Series was all the way back in 2019. And the very first fight was a very competitive fight. Last 20 seconds of the 3rd round, I got caught with a knee, and it laid me out. And, you know, I came back. I won another fight outside of the UFC, came back for the 2nd time. This time I dominated my opponent all 3 rounds. He wasn't able to touch me. I won the fight, but I didn't get the contract. 2 years later, took 2 years off, went through a bunch of injuries, was supposed to fight 2 other times, fell through, opponent didn't want to fight. Something always came up, but I got presented this opportunity, and as soon as they called me and told me what I needed to do, and I got a 3rd opportunity, I understood the assignment. I knew exactly what I needed to do, and it was to go in there and finish him. And, you know, as you can see, I gave him my all, and I got the job done.
Yeah, you know, the part of the commentary there was Michael Bisping, obviously a legend in UFC and in MMA, talking about how you needed to be more aggressive and, like you said, just finish a guy and come out with that attitude. Was that something that had been communicated to you before the fight by anybody, Michael, even if you got a chance to talk to him? And kind of how did you kind of summon that aggressiveness and be able to do what you did?
Well, the thing is, it was always something I knew I had. It was never something that I had to question myself if I had that killing instinct. I always had that killing instinct. And like I said, as soon as they called me 13 weeks out from my fight, hey, you have a another opportunity to fight in the Contender Series again for the third time. But right then and there, I knew what I needed to do. So I really put myself into training mode, and when it was time, I was able to flip the switch. And
Steven Nguyen, our guest, 30 years old, out of Heights High School here in Wichita, went to Wichita State. So when you were at Heights and then you attended college at Wichita State, what was on your mind? Were you fighting as a younger kid? Or when did you take up MMA?
Yeah, I went to Heights, Wichita State. You know, at that time I was already competing, but I basically started in martial arts in general when I was about 5 years old, just doing like karate and taekwondo, and I went on to become a black belt and continued to compete in tournaments, regional tournaments. I got to high school, started training jiu-jitsu, got to high school, wrestled in high school all 4 years at Heights, 2011 state champions, and did boxing and kickboxing after school, after wrestling practice. So it was something that's always been involved in my life. And once I went to college, I was already fighting professionally in the regional circuits. So yeah, I've been at it for a very long time.
So you said something earlier, your first fight in the Contender Series where you got caught with a knee, and I was just, curious. I'm in no way an MMA expert, but I've watched several fights and I've seen it. But you can obviously get caught with a knee, you can get caught with a punch, you can get caught with a kick, you can get caught with a takedown, which turns into a submission. How do you not only defend against all of those possibilities, but also be on the offensive enough to where you can kind of avoid those things at times?
To answer that question, it's a tricky question to answer just because, every opponent is different, right? So we're always studying film, and we're trying to see what the other fighters' tendencies are, what we can do to beat them, things like that. So every fight's different. I study every fight differently, but the most basic answer to your question is just to train hard, to train all those situations. How do you prepare for any situation? You train your ass off. You get into the gym and you rep it out thousands of times in the gym. So that's how you avoid those situations. That's how you're able to create offensive and get it in.
Steven Nguyen, our guest, he is now a UFC fighter out of Wichita Heights High School and Wichita State. So you're the only Vietnamese fighter currently in UFC. That has to mean a lot to you. You also gave a big shout-out to Wichita, Kansas after the fight against Cunningham that vaulted you into the UFC. So tell us about your upbringing and what got you involved in this sport. Did you play other sports? Did you try maybe calmer sports like baseball and basketball, or was this something that attracted you right from the get-go?
Yeah, so I did play some other sports. I played soccer. I played tennis. I was always an active kid growing up. I was raised in a very traditional Vietnamese household. It was me, my sister, my mom, my dad they fled Vietnam and were refugees here. And, they have a rags to riches story. My mom used to clean restrooms and my dad used to ride his bike around. He didn't have a car, but he was in pharmacy school, and then he graduated from pharmacy school here. And my mom now is a very successful real estate. She has over 40 properties now, and she's just doing so amazing. And so my parents, went through a struggle to help me and my sister get to where we are now. They have always been very supportive. But at the same time, we've been a very traditional Vietnamese household. My parents never wanted me to fight, man. They've always wanted me to be like a doctor or a lawyer. Like, why are you fighting? You're gonna get yourself hurt. Very traditional Vietnamese parents, very strict. But I was able to prove them wrong. I was able to stick to my dream, and I feel like I proved a lot of people wrong, especially in this last fight.
So have they come around? Are they now more supportive of this career you've chosen?
Absolutely. They are my biggest supporters right now, and they have been for a very long time. Just in the very, very beginning when I was, 16, 17, 18 years old, saying, hey, telling my parents, hey, Mom, I'm going to be a UFC fighter. It was a very different time back then, and, I don't blame them, but now they're my biggest supporters.
So you fought at featherweight. Do you plan on staying at featherweight? You're 30. I don't know how much weight you're going to be able to put on it. I just don't know. Maybe you can. But that's a really deep division in UFC. Volkanovski, Max Holloway, a lot of really talented fighters. Is there anyone you have an eye on? How can you get more toward the top of that division as you progress?
Yeah, I definitely just am planning on staying at 145 featherweight division. When you ask me what my goal is right now, my only goal is to win my UFC debut. I'm one of those guys. I live in the moment. It's one goal at a time. Okay, you win your UFC debut. What's next? You want to go on a win streak. Okay, what's next? You want to be in the top 15. What's next? Top 5. Champ after that. So right now, I'm only focused on one thing and one thing only, and that's winning my UFC debut. Not sure exactly when that will be, but I want to fight sometime early in 2024.
And you train out of Dallas, correct?
Fortis MMA.
You train in Dallas?
Yes, at Fortis MMA.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Well, Steven, we really appreciate it. We'll get you on again as we get more clarity about when that first UFC fight is. And it's exciting. We're excited for you, and thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely. I will definitely keep everybody updated on my social media. Steven Nguyen 145 on Instagram and Steven Will Win on Facebook. I'll definitely keep everybody updated with when my next fight is. Thank you for having me on your show.
You bet. Take care. Steven Nguyen, who is now an MMA pro with the Ultimate Fighting Champion.
I think he was a pro before.
He's a pro in my eyes.
He's in the UFC now.
I don't regard him as a pro until they get to the UFC.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I'm sure he's very happy.
He's not
to hear
on the
that.
line anymore.
Of course.
I can say things like that.
Yes.
I don't regard you as a pro.
Without him coming to kill you. What do I have to achieve to be a pro?
Start to do better on this show. That'd be nice. Well, you're doing okay, but I mean,
I'll try.
We've got another hour of the Bob and Jeff Show coming up. We'll have a game to highlight that hour. Stay with us.
.97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Now at Staples, the prices of HP printers are dropping. Save on HP Smart Tank and enjoy even more savings on ink. Save on the HP Inkjet, perfect for high-quality pics. Save on HP laser printers, great for tackling high-volume document printing. Now through September 30th, save on Staples' entire selection of HP printers, some as low as $69.99. With HP printer price drops at Staples, now is the time to upgrade to HP, America's most trusted printer brand. See staples.com/HP for details.
Introducing IHOP's new Buttermilk Biscuits. They're warm, they're flaky, and they're available all day long. Whether you're in the mood for a fresh strawberries and cream biscuit, biscuits and gravy, the chicken biscuit sandwich, or can't resist a buttermilk breakfast biscuit with a side for just $7. There's no wrong choice. So no matter what time you get that biscuit craving, we've got you covered. Only from IHOP. Let's put a smile on your plate. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
Our employees at Don Linger Construction are the reason why we are a leader in our industry.
I like working for Don Linger Construction because I feel like I'm part of a team.
Don Linger Construction is now hiring positions in and around the Wichita area. We're employee-owned and offer competitive weekly pay and benefits. Quick start your new career and join our growing team. Apply online at donlinger.biz. That's DONDLINGER.biz. Don Linger Construction is an EEO-compliant employer. Veterans, women, and minorities are encouraged to apply.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings, bone-in breaded, naked, smoked.